There are times in life when we want to experiment in the kitchen, and there are other times in life where we just want to keep it really, really simple. Today, I am going to show you some of my simple favorites that we come back to time and time again. I'm going to cook up some dinner, cook up some basic meals, try some new fry pans that I recently got. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive in. In today's video, I'm going to be cooking with some new stainless steel frying pans, and I have thought for quite a while to make the move to stainless steel, and I found these particular ones on AliExpress, who are also sponsoring today's video. And I want to say a big thank you to AliExpress for supporting my channel and helping me make more content like this for you all. But I'll tell you a little bit more about them and the frying pans a bit later in the video, but now let's dive into the first recipe. Hello there friends, welcome back. If you are new here, by the way, my name is Emmy and I live in the southern part of Australia near Melbourne. It's been a rainy old day here today. I did not want to go to the grocery store today. So I'm going to show you what I typically do when I kind of do a reverse meal plan slash use up things that I have in my house. So let me show you what we're having for dinner tonight. I've dug through my fridge and I have a bunch of things here behind me to show you. This channel is all about keeping it real, and you know, in reality, there are days when we feel like experimenting and cooking up new recipes, and I share a lot of new recipes here in the channel that I hope inspire you, or at least new to me recipes. But then there are times where we just want to lean on the good old staples, and tonight is one of those nights where I'm going to press the easy button and use one of my taco kits. So I pick these up usually when they're half price-ish, because I personally don't want to pay 10 bucks Australian for this sort of meal kit, but sometimes they're really handy. So this one has 12 taco shells, 1 spice mix and 1 salsa. I do actually have a really inexpensive salsa recipe, which I will link up here as well as down in the description below this video. It's just my own invention and I use diced tomatoes, but because this one already has a packet of salsa in it, we're gonna use that because we've got it. But this is a reality. Sometimes we just don't want to innovate too much. And I'm going to show you the ingredients that we're working with today, all of which I've dug out of my fridge and freezer. So let me show you how we're going to cook up our tacos. And if you feel like sharing how you guys do tacos in your family, if it's something you have, let me know down there in the comments below, because you know, every family is different. Anyway, let me show you. Alright, so I've raided my fridge and my pantry, and I had this taco kit that you would have already seen. I've got a capsicum that needs to be used up, so we're going to cut that up. Half an onion that also needs to be used up. Some lettuce that would probably be good for another day or two, but I really like some crunchy lettuce in the taco. I have a fresh tomato. We have a teeny tiny bit of corn left in here. This is frozen, so I'm just thawing that out. And I have a bit of cheese left over, plus a tiny little bit of like this pizza cheese we used the other day. I make my own yogurt. I will link to a video where I make this from scratch so you can see how I do that. Spoiler alert, you can get these sort of yogurt makers in most secondhand shops in Australia. I bought the maker plus 2 containers for $5 in a local secondhand shop. So we prefer to use yogurt rather than sour cream, just because it's a little bit healthier, and we also have it on hand so I can kind of use it for multiple things. 500 grams of beef mince that I just got out of my freezer. I have a lemon, a giant lemon. We're not going to use all of this, but I'm going to use some of the lemon juice. And I have 2 avocados that are borderline too ripe, so we're going to turn that into a guacamole. And then I have quite a bit of coriander. Most of this actually needs to be used up, so some of this will go into a guacamole, and some of it might just get mixed up in the salad. And this is my new stainless steel fry pan. I'll talk about that separately, but I'm really excited to use this for the first time today. And that is our dinner. So I'm going to get cooking because we're both very hungry. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is get started on my guacamole so it can sit in the fridge for a little bit. My fridge is just back there. And if you haven't seen my full kitchen tour yet, by the way, I will link that card up here for you. I did a video a couple of weeks ago with a full walkthrough of my kitchen, so you can see more than just what's behind me in these videos. But I have started by taking all of that beautiful coriander off those stems. I think you call it cilantro in some parts of the world. I had so much coriander and other things in my garden, but my garden is only really starting up for the season. So this is bought from Farmer's Pick, which I've also done a video on that you can check out if you're interested. But anyway, whatever of this doesn't get used in the guacamole or in the salad, I like coriander. In fact, I really love coriander. My husband is sort of medium. So he doesn't mind it in a guacamole, but he won't have it on its own typically. So whatever doesn't get used today with the taco situation is going to go in my freezer. Most herbs you can freeze and take out and put in soups and things like that later. So we're going to have some coriander in it. I'm going to be using 2 quite small avocados. I'm going to squeeze some juice out of that giant lemon that you saw before, and then just some salt, pepper, maybe some other seasonings. So let's go ahead and mix that up. And there is our guacamole done. I know this is by no means the traditional guacamole, but I used the bits that I had. And you might not know this about me, but avocado is one of my favorite all-time foods. I could eat avocado every day and be a very happy lady. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge now and go ahead and cut up all of my vegetables. Alright, so that's everything cut up and I've got everything ready, and that's how I prefer to cook, to be honest, whether I'm filming or not. It's just to cut up all my veggies and ingredients so I have it all ready. Now we're going to cook up my minced beef, and this is a new to me stainless steel fry pan, which means that I'm going to have to cook a little bit differently to what I'm used to on my non-stick skillet material. So we're going to be cooking up the onion, the minced beef and the capsicum, and then we're going to mix in our taco seasoning as well. So this is going to come together pretty quickly. I am keen to use this. Hopefully I don't burn it. But yeah, let's get cooking. My goodness, it's huge, isn't it? Can fit a lot of food in there. In my recent 16 staples to always have on hand, or that I always have on hand, you would have seen mince. And minced beef, minced turkey, things like that is just a great thing to have on hand. I normally buy my mince in either 1 or 2 kilo packets, sometimes bigger, and then I freeze them in 500 gram packets. So it's easy to take them out and defrost them for a meal like this. It's also going to save you heaps of money to buy the bigger pack when it's at a good price. Normally, I think at Aldi at the moment, you can get 3-star beef mince for about $20 odd, and that's the cheapest beef mince that I've seen recently. So that came together pretty quickly actually, and the meat is all done behind me. I think the main learning curve, and I knew this, so I was cautious, is that you have to cook on low to medium heat when you're using a stainless steel pan. You can't cook as hot as you normally potentially would with your non-stick stuff. But we've got all of our assembly parts ready here. The meat and corn and capsicum mix is ready. I've got my taco shells, so we're gonna start assembling dinner. And as soon as we've done that, I'm gonna meet you back here and show you what that looks like. Okay, that was messy business. I am not going to eat these on screen because, as we all know, tacos is not first date food, and whilst we love each other here on the channel, this is going to be messy, but I am really looking forward to this. Normally I'll have 2 to 3 tacos for like a dinner serve for me, and the really great thing about tacos is that you can easily turn it into a taco salad and just omit the taco shells. Sometimes we do soft tacos, but if you follow along on the channel, you know my husband's gluten-free, so sometimes that is a little bit harder to come across. But if you have a great recipe for gluten-free tortillas, please leave it below. I would love to try it. I'm gonna tuck into this now. I did also mention before that I make my own yogurt, and you might be curious, it's a full fat yogurt, which is very kind of a Greek style yogurt, so it goes really well with things like this instead of sour cream. But anywho, we're gonna dig into this now and have some dinner, and I will see you later. So let's have a chat about AliExpress and the fry pans that I'm using in this video. I have been thinking for quite a while to move from non-stick to stainless steel for a few different reasons. I have had my non-stick pans that you've seen me use time and time again in this channel for well over 5 or 6 years. My husband and I bought this set, and whilst it's been good, it's certainly starting to get a bit scratched and banged up, not just because of how I store them, because I do put padding in between, but when you use something all the time, even if you use it with the right utensils, you can still scratch them. And then there are little plastics in the coating, which I personally don't want to eat, even though I'm sure there's microplastics in pretty much everything these days. So one of the reasons I wanted to move to stainless steel is that it doesn't have that coating, and it's a more pure material. And the other reason I wanted to move to stainless steel is because I'm lazy, because you can actually cook on the stovetop with your stainless steel pan and then transfer it into the oven. And I love being able to do that with things like skillets, rice dishes, omelets, if you have a little bit of cheese that you want to just melt or broil on top. And that's why stainless steel can be really, really good. One thing I loved with these pans as well, I knew that I wanted a small one and a really large one, and then I ended up kind of getting the 3, which is perfect actually, because they nest together really, really neatly. And the little one I'll probably use for small things, like if I'm cooking 1 or 2 eggs. And the big skillet is obviously really good if you want to cook quite a lot of food but not crowd your pan. So I'm really happy with how these nest. They arrived in a fairly small box, and the handles and the skillet itself was separate, but it was really easy to assemble it. You know, think Swedish flat pack style. It was actually very, very easy. It came with a tool and everything. And all you've got to do is just give it a really good wash, because with stainless steel and anything else you buy, you want to make sure it's really, really nice and clean before you use it on your stove, etc. So I just gave it a really nice good wash with hot soapy water and dried it off before I used it. So if you, like me, are looking to get yourself a little present, or buy a present for someone else, or get something else for the household that's not for your kitchen or meal prep, even though I recommend you do that as well, you might want to join me in the AliExpress Cashback Challenge. It's running until the 30th of November, and it basically is very, very simple. Step 1, join my team. That's right, we've got a team down there via the first link in the description box, as well as the first comment underneath this video. Once you've joined my team, go ahead and buy anything that you need or you've been looking for, and make sure you do it through that link, and then you are going to be getting 5% cash back on any purchases that you make. The more of us that join in my team, we're going to be able to stack our savings together and basically make up to 10% cashback, which is pretty cool when you think about it, to get cashback for shopping. I think that's pretty cool, at least. There is also a promo code. Yes, you heard it right. There's a promo code as well, and the details for all of that will be down there in the description box and in the first comment. I am going to start looking for my next kitchen upgrade. I have been looking at a few different things, so I'm certainly going to be adding to my list within our team. So I would love to invite you to do the same. I was really impressed with the quality of these fry pans, and I love that they nest so beautifully together, and I'm definitely going to keep a lookout for other kitchen items that I do need to upgrade, because let's face it, the more you meal plan and meal prep, the more your things wear, and you actually do need to replace things from time to time. So again, don't miss the AliExpress cashback challenge running until the 30th of November. Make sure to check out all the details and join my team via the link down there below so that we can all save and get some cash back. You're going to get 5% cash back instantly, and we can get as much as 10% cash back if we bundle as a team. All right, let's cook up some eggs. I have been told many a time that stainless steel pans can be tricky with frying eggs, so I wanted to take on a proper challenge. But before I even did this water test, we want to make sure that we heat up our pan really well. So I put it on medium to low heat and left it for about 2 and a bit minutes before I did this first water test. And you can see that the water isn't fizzling off and burning off, so the pan is simply not hot enough yet. You cannot look up much better tutorials on YouTube if that's something you're interested in. So we left it for another 30 seconds and trying again and noticing that it's much better, but not quite there yet. So I'm giving it another 30 seconds and doing a final water drop test here. And you can see the water beads dancing together and sort of the water sticking together and dancing across the surface, which is what we want. So I'm happy with that. Again, do check out some tutorials if you're brand new to cooking with stainless steel, but I just wanted to give myself the best chance of not absolutely burning this. But now that it's hot enough, we obviously need a cooking fat. I'm just using olive oil. You can use butter, you can use whatever you like. And we're cracking our first egg here, and I like my eggs with slightly runny yolk, but essentially we're just going to let this solidify now, and it will start to release from the pan when it is ready to flip. So fast forward a tiny bit, and I'm just giving this a really gentle flip, and as you can see, it's sticking a tiny bit to the pan, but not too bad. So I've added some more olive oil, and I'm doing egg number 2 here, and just experimenting really. And I was really surprised at how this one actually did release better from the bottom of the pan. So first one was a bit of a mistake. This one actually turned out pretty good, so I was very happy with that. And eggs, if you haven't followed along on the channel, is some of my husband and I, we absolutely love eggs, boiled, fried, omelets, all sorts. So that egg is looking much better, which I was very happy with. And then I got brave and decided to do 2 at the same time. And then I was like, oh shoot, is this gonna allow me to flip it properly? And believe it or not, it did. So this was actually this was actually not that difficult to do. And I again just recommend that you keep your heat really low as you're learning. And then it was time to serve up lunch, and this is one of my favorite go-to things, which is just some healthy, beautiful toast, some avocado, some kind of fruit, things like that. There was a little bit of stick in the pan, but I will show you in just a minute how clean I got it with very minimal effort. So this is going to be my lunch on this day, and if I don't have anything else to add to it, I usually just add some fruit on the side. But this was so delicious and so simple, and sometimes lunch doesn't have to be any fancier than this. And here is how clean the pan got with no scrubbing. So I was pretty happy with that. I am so impressed that I was able to not burn those eggs. It did definitely take a little bit of test and learn, and it is well worth doing that little water test you saw me doing a few times, just to make sure that you've got your pan at the right temperature before you add your oil or whatever cooking fat you're using. But I was told that frying eggs is one of the hardest things to do. So I did put them to the test and they sure delivered. And I'm really excited to start using these pans more in my cooking. And if you haven't joined my team yet for the AliExpress Cashback Challenge, do remember to check out the first link in the description box as well as in the first comment below this video. If you join my team, which is totally free, you are going to get a 5% instant cashback on your purchase. And if we all pull together, we can get as much as 10% cashback on our purchases as a team. So let's get organized for the holiday season, or just buy ourselves a little something to make meal planning and meal prepping and getting organized in the kitchen a little bit more fun. It's very easy with AliExpress, and thanks again to AliExpress for sponsoring today's video. I also want to hear from you about your experience with stainless steel. Have you got stainless steel cookware at home? I have pots, but I've never used stainless steel fry pans before. So I'm just really curious to hear your experience with stainless steel. Is it hard? Is it something you love? Have you never used it? Because it's one of those things that I was thinking about long and hard before I made the decision to upgrade in my kitchen, because I do also like to use things up, but I'm stoked to have these pans in the rotation now, and I see many a meal being made in them in the future. Also, let me know what are your go-to meals. Tacos and eggs in pretty much any form are our go-to meals in this family. We love fried eggs, scrambled eggs, omelets, you name it. But let me know what some of your go-to meals are when you can't really be bothered cooking or you're feeling really low on inspiration. I'd love for you to let us know down there in the comments, and feel free to share any good recipes so that we can all learn together and get inspired those days when we just really don't feel like cooking. Thanks for joining me in today's video, and I look forward to see you in the next one.